Pastor Susan Rogers and her husband Adrian pastor two churches. What state are those churches in?
In Arkansas and Tennessee.
So you're sort of like a multi-state ministry. And now here you've been in South Dakota once again. It's a ministry that has validity regardless of the geography.
Thank you.
Excited to have you back on the set with us for another segment. And Pastor, you talked in one of the sessions this week about abuse and how people can rise above that, work their way through it. There are people listening right now who are hurting. They've been abused. What would you tell them?
First, I think the first thing, abused people, I was when I was a sexually abused little girl. And what I find common among people that I've counseled and that I know as friends, we tend to feel guilty. We blame ourselves, and the victim feels like the perpetrator. You feel like it's your fault. And I think that's the first thing I would say is not your fault. There is nothing innately unworthy in you that caused the abuse. It was someone else's sickness. But knowing that you didn't deserve it and you are not at fault means that there is something better for you. I think I'd like them to know a better life, a positive life, a happy, healthy life is possible and available. The first thing that has to happen is to remove yourself from the abuse. If you know you don't deserve it, remove yourself from it. But after that, the inner work comes. You can remove yourself from the physical pain, but the emotional burdens that attach themselves to people who were victims of abuse can follow you throughout your entire life. You have to be transformed in your thinking. You have to learn your worth. You have to learn who God sees you as, and begin to embrace that and to begin to cast down. The scripture says in 2 Corinthians 10:4-5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. We have to remove our old way of thinking that we learned. Sometimes we learned it because somebody told us we were unworthy.
Yes.
We have to reject that kind of thinking and to embrace the truth that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that God had thought and time and love when he created us. And then in Jeremiah it says that he has a plan for us to prosper us and bring us to an expected end. And I would like for abused people to know there's a better end for you, an end that has life and joy and peace and prosperity. And I would like for them to pursue it, understanding that they deserve it.
Well, as a child of God, they obviously deserve it.
Yes.
We aren't worthy of our own merit, but because God chose us and loves us,
Absolutely.
we are worthy in his sight.
Absolutely. I was praying for someone who said to me, I'm not worthy. And I said, no, you aren't, but you're loved.
Yeah.
God doesn't heal us and deliver us and save us because of our personal worth, but we have worth to him because he loves us. That's what agape is about. He chose to love us, not because we earned it, but because he wanted to.
And you know, the Apostle Paul talked about all of the things he had suffered, and it enabled him to minister to people.
Absolutely.
If you have been abused, you are a perfectly positioned candidate to receive the healing and the love of God, and then transport that to others.
Absolutely. That's why I'm so passionate about it. I don't want other little girls and other little boys to hurt as long as I did, and I do everything within my power to help them find grace and peace and love, and to help point them in a plain path. And I think that everyone in that way can be a minister, because all of us have endured some kind of pain or hurt or something that wasn't good in our lives. And when we become born again and God heals and delivers us, we can use that as an impetus to touch others' lives and pull them out of the places that we know personally.
Well, that's an exciting prospect to think that if you're watching this program and you're hurting, and you need healing.
Absolutely.
That not only is there healing, but then God has a plan.
Yes, He does.
And His plan is for you to be healed and then bless others.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching us today.